Wheels is the topic of the day. Let me show you what we're doing. We are going to be refinishing some wheels for a 2012 Range Rover. Let me show you kind of what we're doing here. This one, we've got a little bit of body work to do to it, so we're having to sand it down and fill in some of the imperfections, I guess you can say, and then we're going to prime that. We're sanding it with 180, then 320 to smooth it up, and then we're going to be putting some spray primer onto it and kind of getting rid of the imperfections. Just a little bit of road rash around the outside edge. If you look closely to the inside edge of the wheel, we've got it taped off because we don't want to get any overspray in there. We're just going to be simply refinishing the outside edge only. We just kind of turn these into our winter wheels. As you can see, we've got very aggressive winter style tires on here. So we're just kind of refinishing them. We're getting ready to put them back on for the winter. It's January here in North Carolina, so it's getting cold and wet and snowy, and just the roads are nasty. So this wheel's pretty much prepped already. We've wet sanded it with 600. Got it kind of taped up. This is kind of the final, what it's going to look like when we get ready to spray it. The valve stem is taped up. The inside edge, once again, it's all taped up. The outside's all ready to go. So this wheel's kind of already been prepped and sanded down. As you can see, we feathered out the edges here, so I cannot feel any imperfections. You can see it visually, but when you feel it, touch it, you're not you don't know it's there. So I'm gonna put a little bit of primer on that, and we're actually gonna be sealing these wheels before we go to spraying them. So all right, the first step we're going to do is, we've already kind of feathered it out. We've already put body filler in here, so I'm using just a standard DA sandpaper. I've got 320 and 180, 320 being the less aggressive, 180 being more aggressive. So we've got to start with 180 because you've got to feather out this body filler that's on here. And then you finish up with 320, and then you prime it. And I'll show you what primer we're going to use. When you're sanding this, you kind of go behind and you feel it. And what you're looking for is no edges on the body filler. And then we're going to come behind this and prime it with an aerosol primer. We're going to be sealing it with a 1-part sealer. And we're actually going to be base coat, clear coat these wheels, base coat, clear coat. So, all right, I want to show you guys a couple more things. We are cleaning it with a Prep All wax and grease remover. See if I can see a part number here for you guys. I think it's a GSW 362 Prep All wax and grease remover. Very, very important. You can see how that black, that's the silicone that's coming off the tires. Cleanliness is the most important thing when you're doing any kind of paint and body work. So wipe it several times, get that stuff off there. So it works good on the rubber. Also it works good on the wheel itself. So, I always wash everything, soap, water, degreaser. You can use Comet. And I want to show you guys real quick, this is the primer that we use, just on real simple things like this, made by Duplicolor. It's a spray primer. It's got some good build to it. The part number on this one is an FP Frank Paul 101. We get it from Pep Boys. But we've used this for years. We've used a lot of different aerosols over the years. I think number 2 in my mind, probably the next best one, would be like an SEM high build primer. But when the weather gets colder, or you're just putting a lot of material on, you're having a hard time getting it to dry, that's what you're going to need. You're going to need those heat lamps to help dry your paints, your primers, your clear coat. You can use it for body filler. It can be used on everything. They do take a lot of electricity. They pull about 1,500 watts each. So you got to make sure you got good extension cords, good breakers, you know, because they pull a lot of electricity down. So, all right, I've got these pretty good and clean. All right, guys, we're almost got it taped up. I want to show you a little slick trick that I do. I use 2-inch tape around the outside. Just break it off in short sections, tuck it in, tape it down. 18-inch paper. What I do is run it halfway. Then you take your fingers and simply push it right against the wheel, and it makes a line for you. Then you take your razor knife, just like so, and give yourself a little extra because you still need to be able to tape. So I kind of go just outside that line all the way around and take that piece out like so. Once you do that, then you can come back with a 3/4 inch tape and just tape right around that edge, just like that. So very simple and quick. So I'm going to finish this up and I'll show you how we're going to prime it. All right, I'm going to show you guys how to do the other side. I'm going to let the video run so you can see how fast you can do this. All right, run your finger on the outside edge. Bring it out. Take your tape, just like this, and take it off. Push that down real good. All right, now we're going to prime those spots that I sanded down earlier. Always test your spray can there, make sure it's going to spray, and just put light coats, very light coats. You don't want to soak it. Just put nice light coats. And it doesn't hurt to use a heat gun, a heat lamp, a fan, anything to the sun. The sun, believe it or not, is a great tool to help dry things. So we're just going to do maybe, I like to do 2 or 3 light coats. We're not going to coat the whole thing because we're going to be actually sealing this with an automotive sealer. So this primer is made to seal up any kind of bodywork primer. It's going to soak into that primer and fill it in. So that's the only purpose for this product. So that's all we're going to do right now is we're just going to put a little bit on there. I'm actually going to bring my heat lamp over here and get it going and get this stuff to dry like super fast so we can get it sanded down. We're going to probably have to wet sand it with some 600. All right, we've got them all taped up, primed. The primer's dry now. I found some 400. I said I was going to use 600, but 400 works just fine. Also, this is wet paper, so just a little bit of water, and go ahead and feather out those primer spots. Just like that. And this makes it just absolutely smooth as can be. So just put a little bit of water on there, either on your paper or right on the wheel, because you're going to blow this all off anyway before you're going to wipe it down one more time. So we're going to sand that primer very lightly, and then I found another product. I'm really concerned because these wheels had a lot of silicone on them, and I cleaned it. I've lost count how many times I've cleaned it. So there's another product here, Bulldog Adhesion Promoter. It really helps with helping making the paint stick. So we're going to be spraying just a very light coat of this on there. Then we're going to go to a 1-part sealer and seal all the wheels with that, and then we're going to base coat them, and then we're going to clear coat them. All right, so let me finish up wet sanding, and then we'll get to spraying. Another little trick is I put my heat lamp in between the 2 wheels so I can dry one, turn it around, dry the other. All right, this is the 1-part sealer that we're going to be using. It's gray in color. 1K means 1 part, primer, sealer, gray. Part number 77852, made by High Tech. We've been experimenting with this a little bit. It's been working so far so good. I always kind of prefer a 2-part sealer primer. 2-part means there's a hardener inside of it that you would add to it and makes it that much more durable. This is only a 1-part straight out of the can. I don't think you even reduce it. Yeah, ready to spray it. All right, we're gonna start to spray it on. Same thing, nice and light and easy. Check your pattern, make sure you got a good pattern. It's good. Another thing I wanted to point out was the distance the heat lamps are from the object. A safe distance of about 18" to 20" away from the object. If you get it closer than that, these heat lamps get extremely hot. I've seen them bubble the paint right off the object. Infrared lights dry from the inside out, so that the light goes through the paint, hits the metal, and kind of gets reflected, if you will, back up through the paint and dries it from the inside. All right, we're getting ready to spray the base coat on now. 3 coats. We're going to let it dry in between each coat. We're going to alternate the heating lamps. As I spray one, move the heat lamp over. Make sure to like and subscribe our videos. Don't make me come find you.